Hello and welcome to the Kentik video series. In this video, we will walk you through setting up a new device on your account, which allows your router and other devices to send flow information to Kentik. When you first log into your Kentik portal, you will need to navigate to the Admin section by clicking on the Admin button on the top menu bar. By default, you will land within the Devices section, which you can see under Assets on the left menu bar. To begin adding a new device, click on the Add Device button in the upper right corner of this screen. In the Add Device window, there are several fields that you will need to fill out. The Name field is the name of how you want the device to be named within the Kentik portal. This field can only be defined when you initially add a device and cannot be changed once the device is added, except by deleting and then re-adding the device. The Description field is a description that you can optionally add to the device for your own reference. Within the Type field, there are currently two types that can be selected, either router or K-probe. You can create device labels for easy management of devices by their label, and this is an optional field that you can use if you have configured device labels. In the Flow Export Configurations section, the Sending IPs field is where you will specify the IP or IP addresses that your router will be sending flow records from. This will need to match the IP address of the interface on your device, either logical or physical, that flow records are being sent from. If you have failover scenarios where this IP address could change, you would specify multiple sending IPs by clicking on the Add Sending IP button. The Sample Rate field is where you indicate what the sampling rate is configured at on your router. Your flow sampling protocol on the router is configured to sample 1 in n flows, where n is the sample rate of the protocol. If you are using NetFlow version 5 or SFlow, the sample rate configured on your device is embedded into the flow record that is sent to Kentik, and we are able to use this information, but NetFlow version 9 and IPFix do not embed the sample rate, so it must be specified here. In either case, we recommend setting the sample rate to the same as it is configured to on your device, regardless of which protocol you are using. Also, if the FPS or flows per second from a device exceeds the rate that is specified for a plan that a device is linked to, Kentik may dynamically downsample the flows in order to remain within the limits of the maximum flows per second that the device plan allows. The next tab is the Plan and Site tab. The Billing Plan field is required and indicates which plan the device is licensed under. This drop-down will contain one or more plans that are configured for your company. Select which one you want to associate with the device. The Site menu will contain a drop-down listing any sites or geographic locations that you have created and wish to associate this device to. This can be changed or modified after the device is created as well. In order to add interface information, such as the names and descriptions of interfaces configured on your devices, along with IP addresses that are associated with interfaces, Kentik needs to either obtain this information via SNMP polling of each device, or you can manually add interfaces to a device using the Kentik portal or API. SNMP is the most accurate method, as Kentik will poll your devices for this information automatically, and this is what we recommend. The first drop-down menu is for SNMP polling. This is either set to standard or minimum. Standard polling, which we recommend, will perform SNMP polling of the device every 10 minutes for interface counter information, such as in and out traffic, and will poll every 3 hours for interface description, to track if interface description information has changed. Minimum polling will disable SNMP polling of counters and only poll for description information every 6 hours. The initial SNMP polling will also obtain the SNMP interface index ID and the name of all interfaces. The next field is the Device SNMP IP field. This is the IP address that Kentik will poll via SNMP. It must be reachable via Kentik's specified SNMP polling IPs displayed at the top of this window. The SNMP community field needs to be set to the SNMP community that you have configured on your device. This is the community string that Kentik will use when it pulls the device for SNMP information. By default, Kentik uses SNMP version 2 for SNMP polling, but if you require or use SNMP version 3, this option can be toggled on. When SNMP version 3 auth is enabled, you will need to specify additional information specific to your SNMP version 3 configuration on your router. This includes the SNMP version 3 username, auth type, which can be set to MD5 or SHA, the SNMP version 3 passphrase, the SNMP version 3 privacy type, which can be set to none, DES, or AES, and also the SNMP version 3 privacy passphrase. The last tab in the Add Device window is the BGP tab. If you have a plan configured on your device that allows for BGP peering to be configured with Kentik, you are able to select several different types within this window. For devices that do not have a BGP plan, the No Peer Use Generic IP ASN mapping is the option that will be selected. This uses a generic mapping that is provided by Kentik. The next option that you can select for the BGP type is to peer with device. Once you set the BGP type to peer with device, you will need to enter the IPv4 or IPv6 peering address that you wish to use to peer with Kentik. Either of these fields or both of them can be configured depending on whether or not you want to configure IPv4 and IPv6 peering with Kentik. Within the ASN field, you will need to specify the ASN that your device is configured for that will be peering with Kentik. If you wish to use an MD5 password for your BGP peering with Kentik, you can specify that within the BGP MD5 password field. This is optional and not required unless you are configuring that on your device. The last option under the BGP type is to use a table from another peered device. This will allow you to select another device which is peering with Kentik via BGP and use its BGP table for this device. If you click on the drop-down menu under Master BGP Device, you can select another device that is configured within your Kentik portal that currently has BGP peering established. Once you have configured your device correctly, you will be able to click on the Add Device button in the bottom right corner of this screen. If any of the tabs at the top of the Add Device window have an orange dot next to them, it indicates that there is required information which is currently missing. Once all of the tabs contain the correct information, you will notice that there are no dots next to them, and you can click on the Add Device button in order to add the device to your account. Once you have added your device, it will be listed in the Devices section of the admin portal. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video on how to add a new device to your Kentik portal.